Okay, can you hear me now? I don't know what's going on, y'all. The struggle is so real. Looks like you can hear me now. Maybe I had to switch from my laptop over to my phone. Okay, you can hear me now. Y'all, I'm telling you, I it's okay. I'm struggling. It's not for whatever reason my laptop had no sound. And I don't know why. Um, but I'm gonna try to switch back over. But how's everybody doing? I promise I'm gonna get through this. Um, I wanted to talk about something in particular, and if I can't show it to you, I'm going to figure it out. But I'm going to go back to my laptop and see. Hey, Misty. Yeah, Blake. I know. I'm sitting here talking, and I'm seeing like nobody responding, and I know that if I have a mod in there, they'll tell me like, "Nope, can't hear you," or "Where's the sound?" So I'm going to go back into. Um, if you hear like a loud screeching sound for a second, just forgive me. Um, okay, can you all hear me now? Because I'm back on my laptop. I bet you can. It looks like it's making sound. Y'all. Yay. Okay, thanks, Donna. Y'all, this is like I don't know. I'm gonna be probably telling my husband and I know you already got me some gifts, but I think I need a new laptop because this is crap. Um, but again, like I really wasn't sure if I was ever gonna really kind of go live again. I didn't really know what my plan was gonna be. Thanks, Blake. Um, I know I had to send Blake a message like, am I not being heard? So I'm gonna try to figure out how to show this video because what we went over the other day was the filings, right? And there are some things that Jennifer Moore, which is Katie Joy's attorney, said in the motions, and I'm like, this is such crap. Like, Amber Stavik can prove that you're lying in this motion, basically. And then it's like, well, does Katie Joy's attorney even know the damn truth? Does she even know what her client does? Or does she just say what her client tells her to say? I mean, we've kind of wondered this the whole time, haven't we? But okay, so you can still hear me, right? Y'all, this is just crazy. So, like, all day I was like, "Oh, I've got this all taken care of. It won't be a problem. It'll be totally fine." Um, you know, thanks, Donna. I got this. Got so what I do, like, whenever I was live the other day and I was reading stuff, it would just all of a sudden disappear, and then I would be like, "Okay, I was in the middle of reading part of this motion," and then it would just go away. And then I have to pull it back up, and then I wouldn't be able to see chat. And it was like, and I finally, like halfway through it, figured it out. Like, okay. And then it started to kind of work a little bit, and then I kind of got in the groove. But it like literally, I was like live for like an hour before I was able to figure it. But I'd be reading something and and I just would lose my place. So the way I used to do it was I would put it all in an editor like I do my videos, and I would just lay it all out. And then I could just play it on here as a video, and I could pause it and talk through it, and it would take up the whole screen, and it was the best way to do it. Now it's saying that it's not formatted right, and I've reformatted the fucker like 5 times to these different things, and it's just not letting me do it. So I'm gonna try to do it, and I'm gonna see if like literally right at 2 o'clock, it it uploaded what it was supposed to do, but I don't even know if it converted it to the right type of file. So I'm going to try that now. If not, I might be able to share a screen, but who knows? We'll get through it though. I'm going to make it happen one way or another. Let's see. But anyways, okay, let me see. Nope, that's not it. Holy cow. Is everybody ready for Christmas? Y'all, have the biggest pile of presents I need to wrap, and I just don't like wrapping presents. Like, I'd always have some little ones here that loved to wrap presents, and so they would always have that up, that was kind of their thing, and they loved it. And then I'd also like pay them because I hate wrapping presents. I have a huge pile. And then I just saw Amazon come again, and I know that our box down there, we have like a box down the end of the driveway, like a big box for them to put it in so they don't have to come up here because the dogs. Gift bags, I know, and they're all in the attic. So yeah, gift bags. But I don't know, we'll see. I've never been one to really be in the holiday spirit. But we've got some little ones in the family this year, and that's always fun. That's the only part of it I enjoy, really. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can't get into my Dropbox. Let's see if I can get into my Dropbox and then share the screen, and then we should be good to go. But of course, last time I tried it wouldn't let me sign in, so I don't know. And I can't do it from my phone. I wish they would give you all the options off of your phone to show videos. But I'm gonna make it happen one way or the other. But I've just got to go to my passwords and see. But how's the weather everywhere? I know some people are getting lots of snow. It was cold this morning, I'm not gonna lie, but now it's like almost 60 or something, which I'm sure some of you would do anything to be in 60 degrees. Okay, let me see here. I promise y'all I had this ready. I was ready to go. And then it just won't, it's saying that it's not supported. Okay, let me see. Dropbox. Mhm. Of course, I have like 5 different. Okay, that one. Let me see which other one I have. Okay, is this gonna be the one right here? Okay, let me see if I can get this to work. 40? That's probably not too bad. I know there's some people that are like um negatives. Okay, let me see if I can sign into this. Bear with me, y'all. Oh, it looks like it might sign me in. Um, Cross your fingers, y'all. All right, now I just got to go get the code. Y'all, this is such a pain in my ass. I'm not meant to do this. Okay, let's see. Get the code. 297. Y'all, this is such a pain in my butt. I'm sorry, y'all. I promise I'm going to get my act together. It won't be long because now it's going to send me a text, apparently. Good grief. Okay. I think we might be good to go. Let's see here. Oh yay, looks like it might work. I got to figure this crap out. Um Okay, let me see. All right, I'm going to come back to chat for a second and then we'll get through this. 59. Hi, Brianna. Yeah, that's about what we are right here, I think. This morning was cold. That's all right that you're late. I'm just glad that you're here. Sorry I'm late. How are you, Southern Mutton? Hope you see my name this time. Yvonne, is that right? Yvonne Alive for Love. 28 Fahrenheit in the UK. That's not too bad, is it? Is it usually colder than that, tripping? Hey, Mama Celeste. What? Negative 24 degrees Celsius. What is that in Fahrenheit? That's still, I mean, that's still like in the negatives, isn't like right at, what's the difference? 35 in Delaware, Donna? Goodness gracious. I was listening to Flava's live the other night and she had someone in chat that said they had like 5 feet of snow or something crazy. And I'm sure that some of you are going through that. I wouldn't know how to, I wouldn't survive. I just wouldn't. Okay, so let me see if I can finally get this up and going. And if so, then I'll be able to share my screen. No, I don't want to play it right now. Is that it? Yay, I think we're going to be able to make it work. All right. Oh, shit. Don't do that. All right. So, again, like I was saying earlier, I'm back. Okay, y'all. I promise you, I'm going to get my act together. 5 inches of snow. Like I was saying the other day, like I've lived in Texas I mean, I'm from here, right? It's my whole life. And like my whole childhood up through like college. I remember it snowing 3 times. I remember once I was driving and I'd got snow on the windshield, but as soon as it hit, it would, I got to see snowflakes, but it would just melt. 54 in Tennessee. So y'all aren't much colder than here. You got most of your snow in January. Oh, you get most of your snow in January. But I think it snowed on Christmas here a few years back. But since we've been out here, which has been a little over 10 years, it snowed twice. Like in my whole life, it didn't snow. And then it's like it snowed 2 or 3 times in the last like 12 years. It's crazy. You can have thunderstorms, huh? Y'all, -1. That's what I thought it was about. I knew it was just right under, oh my gosh. And I said that I wanted to be there. I wouldn't survive. I mean, we were planning on going so we could be in the UK over Christmas, but um and I would have made it happen. I mean, we have friends and stuff there but I think I'll wait till it's warmer. You're allergic to snow mold and you have snow right now. What do? You have to stay inside? Sarah, there's bad weather, just bad. There's no bad weather, just bad clothing, and that's it. I mean, I don't even know. I would never be prepared. Like I've been places where it's cold. Like I was in the UK in January one year, but my friend I was staying with, I was able to borrow anything that needed to be warmer. Right? I had the right boots, and that was what mattered. My feet were warm. That was about it. You don't stay inside. I meant like when you said if you're allergic to it and it sucks. I know I asked that the other day. I was like, wait, this stupid question. Y'all just stay inside when it's that cold? But yeah, so what I was saying earlier is with these motions that 7M filed, um, I mean, I'm sorry that they both filed, right? But what Katie Joy filed, there are seeking sanctions just like 7M is. And y'all, I'm telling you, what they're saying and what they said in there is not truthful. And we're going to go through and I'm going to show you why it's not truthful. You have snow on the ground now. Yeah, Blake says she stays inside. Like when it snowed here, I'll have to pull up the pictures and show y'all next time I go live from the times we did have snow. And oh, my husband was out there loving it. He was on the tractor. He was loving it like a kid. And I was like inside under the blankets. He's like, "Come outside." I was just such a bah humbug. I went out there for a little bit and I was like, "No, not fun. No fun." But it actually stuck on the ground. Like we actually had snow on the ground. But two things. First, I'm going to show you. Do y'all remember this? So I was telling y'all, I did some videos on this woman on TikTok, and she was filing lawsuits against Crash Out Kaylee, who's on YouTube, and Feisty is one who did it, and she's on TikTok. And their whole beef is really over Gabby, who's on TikTok. And if y'all aren't familiar with any of that, you're better for it. Okay, you're just better for it. But what I came across Feisty's video, and she's just screaming and yelling about how she's going to sue, blah blah blah. And so I started looking into it to see, like, what is this all about? Like, I'm tired of hearing people suing each other over, internet drama because somebody says something about you that you don't like. I mean, my God, go into the drama community and you'll see this shit happening nonstop all day long, right? I mean, it's just, you don't just sue somebody because they don't like your shoes, right? And 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh my gosh. No, thank you. But then again, I say that if I had the proper clothing. So this lady, I think in the video I showed that she, first of all, sued because she wanted to be reimbursed for going down to Florida because, get this, y'all. So Gabby filed a restraining order down in Florida, and just days before the hearing, she withdrew it. But Feisty went down there anyways. And I made a video about it, and I was saying she did not have to go down there. She had representation. Okay. It was withdrawn. Yes, it was a good idea to go in front of the judge, obviously, to say, look, it was withdrawn. We're just making sure, blah, blah, blah. But she had an attorney down there. So she had representation and we saw a letter that she showed where he said he was going to be in court, right? So she knew he was going to be in court. She didn't have to go. And so she was trying to sue for the money, saying, well, it cost me over $6,000, but in small claims court, the most you can sue for is $6,000. And so she was seeking $6,000, and I made a video about it going, you don't have a case. Number one, it's wrong jurisdiction. You did not have to go, and they can prove that. So it was dismissed, and I did a video about that. But in the meantime, she's like, I'm filing a restraining order or an order against stalking, protective order for stalking. And I said, that's not going to fly either because, again, wrong jurisdiction. And not only that, you don't have a case. You don't. Like, we're looking at this Katie Joy situation. We know there's a case. Defamation is hard to prove in itself. But anyways, she's saying she filed a restraining order on her. Well, an order of protection against stalking on her. And then she also said that she filed a defamation suit. And I said, look, you don't have the grounds for any of these. Well, the defamation one never showed up, obviously, because she knew she didn't have a case, right? The one where she wanted to sue in small claims court, that was dismissed for jurisdiction. So she's like, well, I'm going to file in the right jurisdiction. Go ahead, spend all your money. It's stupid. Spend your money over internet drama. Hey, Misty. Thank you for sharing the live. You're taking a break from mopping. I need a mop so bad. I can't find you to tag. That's interesting. I've been having issues. People have been telling me that they've been booted from just being subscribed to me and that they're not getting notifications. And I'm not surprised. I mean, I am not like up on the algorithm, but still -1. And it's like spring weather. Oh my gosh. I know. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I go outside like bundled up, and I'm like, people would think that it was so warm. They'd be happy in the weather that we have. And I think it's so cold. Yeah, thank you, Misty. So anyways, I kept saying she has zero case in any of this. There's no grounds for a stalking order of protection against stalking. I mean, if she wants to fight the defamation, we know how hard it is to prove defamation. It's so hard. She does not have a case for that. And then the other case in small claims court that was passed off. I mean, that was dismissed, right? So I knew that it showed on the docket, well, on their calendar, that they were going to allow Kaylee to appear by Zoom for this stalking order. And I said, I know that they're not taking it seriously because she did a ex parte, and she had an ex parte hearing, and the judge did not grant a temporary, and then they always do another hearing. So the respondent has their say, and I'm like, well, they're allowing it to happen by Zoom, so if they're allowing that, they don't have any beef in this. But one of the reasons why Feisty was so pissed off at Gabby is because she withdrew that her restraining, that actually was a temporary granted on her down in Florida. But for whatever reason, Gabby withdrew it. And again, I'm not defending that Gabby. I'm not on Gabby's side. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving you the specifics here. She withdrew it just days before the hearing. And that pissed Feisty off, pissed a lot of people off. So Feisty had this order of protection that she did in ex parte. They did not grant a temporary, but they did have a hearing set. They were going to allow Kaylee to appear by Zoom. And Feisty went live, and she did a video. Well, she made a video saying that she was going to withdraw it just days before. Like the hypocrisy is so strong, y'all. But I'm going to play this real quick, and then we're going to get on to the Katie Joy stuff. But I just want you to hear this because, again, she was so pissed off when Gabby withdrew her petition down in Florida against her. Then she didn't have to go, but she went anyways. They drove down there. She's saying it cost all this money. She was trying to sue them for that. That was dismissed. She can't sue for defamation because of jurisdiction. She says she's going to go down and do it in the right jurisdiction, which is stupid because it's never going to fly, and you're going to waste all this money. And then she was like, well, I've got this order of protection, and we're going to have this hearing, and she has to come here. And y'all, just listen to this. It's only like a minute. Just listen to this. It is so frustrating because not only did she do the exact same thing that she was pissed off someone did to her, it's very clear that this is only about making Kaylee have to travel there like she had to travel down to Florida. It's all about revenge. But let's listen to this real quick, and then we'll get into the Katie stuff. But just listen to this. It's the hypocrisy is crazy, y'all. And I know y'all don't really follow this and you don't have much weight, but it just goes to show you what happens on the internet and why I'm so strong about Katie's case now and why I'm not going to stop following that, because there is a case there. But I'm going to play this real quick.
Hey y'all, some of y'all aren't going to like what I'm fixing to say, and that's okay. It's not my job to make everybody happy. I received some paperwork in the mail yesterday. The respondent to my restraining order petition requested to attend the hearing via Zoom. The court granted that request. I'm not okay with that. Due to the concerns with the third-party assistance, the recording of conversations illegally, distributing things across the Discord, I don't feel like I'm going to receive a fair hearing. So I'm going to be withdrawing this petition for a restraining order first thing in the morning. As soon as I'm done withdrawing it, I'm going to call the attorney. I'm going to retain said attorney, and I'm going to refile through my attorney. I'm done playing games at this courthouse. I'm done going back and forth arguing inside of motions. I'm ready to put a stop to this shit. So as stated, some of you are not going to be very happy with what I just said, but it's not my job to make you happy. This is my life. My peace comes before all. And I'm tired of worrying myself about this shit right here when I can go pay someone to worry about it for me. This is not a win for anyone. This is not over by a long shot. And the continued targeted harassment can and will be used against a bitch. Guaranteed.
So, no, number one, she doesn't have a case. But do you see how she's more worried about her people? She's like, oh, it's going to upset some people because I'm not going to go through with this. She doesn't have a case to go through with it. And it's so frustrating. And if you don't know about it, do not even worry about it. It is not worth your time. Trust me. Hey, Queen Penelope, you found out how to change your name. You did it. You were an anonymous user. Happy Tuesday. And now we're Queen Penelope. Good to see you. So if you don't know about this case, it's no big deal. It's just my whole point is like, Why is she so worried about what people are going to say? And she's saying she's going to go retain an attorney. Why? There's no case. You just don't like this girl. That's it. And not only that, she's in a totally different state. Okay, but let's get on to what we're going to talk about with Katie Joy. Let me see here if I can share the screen. And I hope I don't go through the same shit I did the other day. There it is. Okay. I'm going to see if I can't make this bigger. See, because the way I had it planned to do it, it would take up the whole screen. But I'm going to be reading it, so it's okay. I don't know how you change it. Hey, Ruth Carroll. Okay, so we're going to have to do this way. This isn't the way I wanted to do it, but we're just going to be sharing the screen and we're going to go over. But I want y'all to see this. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on, let me see if I can. Hold on real quick. Wait, that's not what I want to do. Hold on. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay. Hold on. I've got all this stuff up on the thing from the other day. What the heck? All right. Let me see. Let me do this. Okay. I think I might be in action here. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so this is very blurry. So it's probably blurry on your end too. Thank you, Unitopia. That is correct. That is correct. We have to say that in everybody's live. That covers Katie Joy, right? I don't know where Luke is. He's probably working. How dare him have to work? Sandwich behind bars. Okay, so this is what cracks me up. She did this back in. Let me see if I can find the dates on the bottom. Why isn't it moving now? Oh my word. I don't know what I just did again. Okay, so what she said was, I've got all this stuff, all these open things from. So I think this was whenever Todd Chrisley was indicted, and Katie Joy made this post. Oh no. This was okay, so somebody with one of the Brown, I think it was Mary. Somebody wrote, "Your whole family needs to sue without a crystal ball, Katie Joy. She is doing so much damage to your family. Please send this woman to jail." And so this was January of 2023. And Katie Joy says, "Me reporting to prison," because Robert calls her Sandwich. And she's like, "Every time someone tries to sue me or send me to jail, I'm going to send them this meme." So I just found it so funny because I'm like, I think that what's going to happen with sanctions is that, Katie Joy is going to go to jail? No. But, if the judge just order her to provide all the stuff she hasn't provided, hence why she has this, why 7M filed a motion for sanctions because she's in contempt, and they want her to spend time. Like if she does not provide it, as I say, the court orders that she has to provide it, which they will, and she does not abide by that, they want her to spend time in jail. And I'm like, what if that does happen? There's so many posts that she has made. I'm gonna show y'all some. There's so many posts that she has made where I'm like, man, these words might come back and bite you in the butt. Okay, so I don't know how blurry this is going to be. So there's that. So I just found it funny. So it's her reporting to prison, y'all. And because somebody told Mary that somebody needs to, find this Katie Joy without a crystal ball and put her in jail because she's hurting their family. And this would have been before the horrible situation with Garrett, right? And she did do that family some harm. She has. I know, right? Sandwich, not sandwich, like what you eat. So, all right, that's what she had said. So then, what I did is I just took parts out of their motion, and this is Katie Joy's motion. And I'm going to go through some of these real quick, but it's just a reminder of what was filed. This was all filed on the 10th. And, there was a lot of back and forth between the parties in correspondence. And we went through that correspondence the other day. And when you look at what 7M is saying to Katie Joy, I mean, if you could tell that Katie Joy's attorney is like, what? And it's like 7M, like Amber Stavig is playing, she's totally playing chess. And Katie Joy attorney is over there playing like kindergarten checkers, right? Like there is just no match, none. And so she says, plaintiffs responded to November 21st, 2025 letter that said, that Katie Joy's attorney had written with proposed resolutions. And then they had this meet and confer on December 5th, but that basically that 7M is like, yeah, no, we're not going by, we're not gonna abide to any of that. And then they say, that plaintiffs threaten contempt motions despite the non-dispositive motions deadline having passed. And so again, obviously, here's 7M going, okay, fine. If you're not going to provide your tax documents that have been requested and you're not going to provide your sources, right? And I've got another thing to show you where Katie Joy is underneath comments in Reddit talking about how she does not, she said this just recently, like within the last month on Reddit in the comments. She said, yeah, I've been deemed a journalist with journalistic privilege in Minnesota, so I don't have to give up my sources. Not true. Not true at all. The judge said you have to give them up. She hasn't done it. She also hasn't given up her tax records for her personal taxes or her business taxes. Right, Misty Mo? It's like she thinks it's funny. Oh, he's not giving up, Misty. I can guarantee you that. If that man does get arrested, and let's say it's not gonna stop. Katie Joy's banking on the fact that he's gonna be arrested, or he's gonna be put in prison. Everybody can have their opinions on that, what's gonna happen. And I don't think it's gonna make a difference either way, because keep in mind, he's not the only plaintiff in this case. He's not the only plaintiff in this case. So then she goes on to say The non-dispositive motion deadline, and again, all non-dispositive motions are the typical motions that you file that will not end a case. Like a summary judgment could end it, but non-dispositive motions are all the motions we see. And there was a court order. There was an order put out, and it had some new deadlines, and it had a deadline for dispositive motions in this case and non-dispositive motions. And what Katie Joy's attorney is trying to say here, which just goes to show you, what caliber she is. The non-dispositive motion deadline is now passed. Plaintiffs have threatened contempt motions in their November and December 2025 correspondence, but those threats are procedurally barred. Plaintiffs cannot seek affirmative relief after the deadline expired, particularly when they remain in far worse violation of the same court orders they invoke against defendants. And okay, it's not far worse, but they're both not. But by this point, 7M did provide what they were supposed to provide. Okay. Then Katie Joy's attorney goes back and is like, oh, well, no, we really want this now, which was never in their discovery. And that's what 7M was fighting, going, you didn't ask for that in discovery. Like, what are you talking about? Queen Penelope says, I don't think it's going to matter if Shin gets arrested. She will have to either one, be discredited by giving up her alleged source, risking losing her credibility. Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter, period. But I mean, I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. You believe that she had something to do with him being raided? Well, I'll tell you this. 7M has stated in this motion that they just filed and the motion regarding temporary injunction that Katie Joy is the reason why her client was raided. And that's a very strong statement to say, okay? We know that his attorneys in LA know the status of why he was raided. And Katie Joy keeps saying it's because of, trafficking in the sexual way, like he's sex trafficking, right? And that he is operating an sex trafficking ring. She has stated that as fact over and over again. And it's very clear by me reading certain things that probably was not any of the warrants issued on the raid, right? That's not what they were there for. So I don't think 7M's attorney would be saying that if they didn't have good reason to say your client instigated this raid, And so, but the big thing here is she's saying that you bypassed the deadline, right? That the deadline was passed and you cannot file any more non-dispositive motions. That we filed ours within the timeline. That is why we are able to file this particular motion for sanctions, saying, that you are not providing things. We're able to provide this, but you're not because you missed the deadline. But that's not the case. I read up on the laws, but I just wanted to show y'all this. I just wanted to show this to you, but I did read up on the laws to see, because I thought, you know what? There's no way that 7M's attorney is going to file a motion that's just going to get thrown out. She knows the law. It's very clear. It is very, very clear that Amber Stavig knows the laws of Minnesota. As opposed to Katie Joy's attorney. And so Amber Stavig is excellent in this situation. Then you could tell that the other attorney that's working with her, she's very good at writing certain motions. So I think they're a very, very powerful team. But here it says, okay, this was just, I Googled this, but I did read the Minnesota law and I did read these rules. But it says, yes, you generally can file for sanctions for contempt in Minnesota, even if the deadline for general non-dispositive motions passed, because contempt sanctions, which is what they're saying that they were going to file, and they did, okay? They follow different specific rules, like Rule 37 for discovery or Rule 11 for filings. So they follow different specific rules with unique time frames, often requiring a separate motion and specific service, especially if it's for things like failing to obey a court order or discovery violations. So, again, do I think 7M that Amber Stavig would have filed this order if she did not have the knowledge? No. It is not. So there, Katie Joy's attorney is saying in this motion that 7M should not have filed this motion, that they did it wrongfully, that their deadline passed, they have no rights to do it, and that she does, basically. It's unbelievable. Like, how do you not know the laws? I'm going to read chat here for a second before we go on with that. Yeah, Misty, it's very, when you look at the lawsuit in if you look at, I just hit my ring on my bed. If you look at the lawsuit in California, and I'm talking about the one where Robert sued 5 people, and now it's down to 4 because one settled. One of the bloggers settled, but Melanie Lee and Priscilla Lee are on that lawsuit. And then they had the other people come in and countersue. So there's the counter complaints. But if you look at that, it's very questionable. It's just very, I don't want to sit here and say that there aren't victims because I don't know. But do I think the dancers are victims? No. And those dancers have, even the ones that left, have even gone on to other platforms such as podcasts, and basically said they just left. They left, and there were no issues with leaving. So they've contradicted the things that they've said. But I'm not going to get into great detail with that because I don't have that to show right now and prove. But again, that's just my opinion. Unitopia says, I love the fact that KJ had even posted that her attorneys believed that the judge would rule in their favor. Yeah, exactly. And the judge saw that. She also said, remember, the judge made a mistake. The judge obviously realized they made a mistake. That is why they granted my request to file a motion to reconsider. Yeah, no, that's not what happened. Then they get into the whole thing about 7M deleted their social media, and Amber Stavig is like, and so this is the motion right here that I'm showing that Katie Joy's attorney filed, and she's saying that they said they deleted it, but then they said they deactivated it. So which one is it? We want proof. They're not really willing to show us proof. Of course, Amber Stavig says differently, and therefore, how can we take them seriously? And then they show the interrogatory numbers of the request that they filed that 7M hasn't provided. And so we're going to move forward. Then here she is talking about these undisclosed accounts, like these TikTok accounts, and she's still claiming that she's claiming these, Wilkins sisters too, and this Without a Crystal Ball or Clue Instagram accounts that were showing way back when. She said they're saying that they talked about the lawsuit on that. I don't remember that at all. And like I said, somebody who knows that side of it very closely, they said those accounts were gone before the lawsuit hit. So, but they were never really asked this through discovery. They later on through correspondence were asking Amber Stavig about it, and Amber Stavig just completely ignored her. They just aren't even answering her about it because it doesn't pertain, according to what Amber Stavig is saying. So there's that big issue. Okay. Let me move on. Yeah, so the whole deleted, deactivated thing, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a huge issue with the judge. Amber Steinberg says, look, I've put it on the record that they deleted their presence, but really, truly what it means is their accounts are deactivated. So Katie Joy goes on News Nation. Do y'all remember this? To make a big fuss about they deleted their accounts. They deleted their accounts. Robert Shin made them delete their accounts. That's the narrative that she needs to stick by. Why she thought they were deleted, I don't know. None of us thought they were deleted. Everyone with a brain thought, well, they probably deactivate them. You can hide your accounts, you can deactivate them, but you still have access to everything. They have a huge following. Why would they ever risk just deleting that? Like, I made a mistake deleting my last channel, y'all. That was a mistake. I admit it. I had, my channel was much bigger. I deleted it. I didn't think I was going to come back. But you have the option to hide it and you can kind of deactivate it and you can go back. But I didn't have millions of followers, right? They have millions. And so why would they delete that? They needed this to pass. They were getting so much hate. So much hate. It was awful how much hate they were getting. And if you I don't know if anybody followed that, watched Miranda on Instagram or followed her and saw the comments that she was getting, especially after the docu-series came out. But then after this raid happened, it was unreal. So, they're saying now, all this spoliation of evidence, we don't believe you. But the biggest thing, I want to show this one. This one's kind of funny. One of the things that they're saying, yeah, they weren't they, Lulu Buzz? I mean, just horrific. And whenever Miranda made a video to say, hey, y'all, please just stop. I'm being threatened. My life is being threatened. I was somebody threatened to kidnap her, throw her in the trunk of their car to gut her. And she's terrified. And she's making this video, and Katie Joy makes a video mocking her, saying she's not scared. This Robert Shin made her say all that. But then the next day, Katie Joy is like, I was raided because of them, and I'm the one that's really in danger, not Miranda. We saw the stuff she was getting, but she was blaming it on Robert Shin. Katie Joy was saying, oh, it's coming from within. Yeah, you saw with your own eyes, Misty. Yeah, when she did the video about it, and then you would see people going over to Miranda's, going, "Why aren't you back home? Why are you leaving your family?" Number one, she's a grown ass woman. The fact that these people think that that Miranda's just going to go back home and it's just going to be, oh, big old happy family again. Hey, Flava, how you doing? We're talking about Katie Joy. I'm about to show the good shit right here. You came in just in time if you're interested in this. But one of the things she's saying is, remember, there's a protective order on Discovery. The judge said, yeah, Katie Joy is clearly a threat. So anything in Discovery that she shows, anything that Katie Joy shows in Discovery, I mean, anything that's shown to Katie Joy, she's a threat for putting it out on her own public platforms. She's a threat for showing it, right? So, yeah, we'll put a protective order on Discovery. So whenever you get stuff in Discovery, it's attorney's eyes only, and Katie Joy can't see it. So now they're fighting, saying they need to remove that, even though it was ordered by the original judge in this case. And so they say this is why Paulson needs access. They're saying that Katie Joy needs access to this, y'all, that she needs access to their social media accounts because Katie Joy has specialized knowledge about social media monetization that her attorney does not possess. As a content creator, Katie understands platform payment structures, brand partnership economics, and financial relationships between creators and management companies. This expertise is essential to analyzing the September 2025 financial production and preparing her defense. Hire an expert, because Katie Joy wants to be able to get access to all their social media and all of their direct messages and things like that of that nature. And we said this the other day because I know they're trying to put I feel it in my heart. I don't have proof of it. This is just my opinion that they are working on a part 2 for this docuseries, right? And Katie Joy needs this for that docuseries. It's not for her own defense. Come on. Oh, that's right, Flavor. You're going to Tennessee. Happy 21st birthday, by the way, to your beautiful daughter. Have y'all already started to go, Flavor? When do y'all leave? I need to know these details. And I'm hoping you're going to be going live. You're going to Nashville, right? So anyways, Katie, they're saying, you're leaving tomorrow. Okay. Wonderful. I hope you have the best time. I've got a friend of mine that just took their family on vacation. And I can't wait to see how they are doing there and how much fun they're having. But anyway, so they're saying that the financial documents were produced 19 months late. Okay. But Katie hasn't even provided hers yet. Discovery has closed. Correct, it has, but you haven't provided her financial records or proof of sources. Katie needs access now to assist counsel in preparing defense strategy, identifying relevant documents, and understanding what the financial records reveal about the accuracy of her reporting. Bullshit. Okay. Plaintiff's letter asserts that the attorney's eyes only designations are justified because Katie has, okay, this is where it gets good, y'all. This is where I'm going to show y'all in Katie's own words that her attorney is full of shit right here. So does her attorney not follow what Katie does? Does her attorney not follow what Katie does? Or is she just blatantly flat out lying to the courts? That's what I need to know. That's what I need to know. What the worst part is, once they got some attention from Melanie, Miranda's mom and sister suddenly stopped trying to mend their relationship with her. Like they didn't even care anymore. You know what, CJB? Yeah, it's the fact that they communicate with Katie Joy, the fact that they put Katie Joy over their daughter in a lot of ways. Lock her up. I know. And y'all saw the picture I put up earlier where Katie was talking about, where she's like sandwiched behind bars or whatnot. This is where it gets good. Okay. So 7M's letter asserts that the attorney's eyes only designations are justified because Katie Joy has, quote unquote, demonstrated a history of publicly disseminating plaintiff's private information. That, her July 25th, 2025 Instagram post about a marriage certificate and her comments about the Derek's demeanor during depositions. Okay. So, let me see. Let me see where I want it. Right there. Okay. Two things. 7M is saying that they want, for whatever freaking reason, y'all, they want the depositions to be public information. There's no need for that. There's no need other than for Katie's own greedy reasons. Right? That's the only reason. They want in public. And 7M says, no, wait a minute. Your client told everybody what happened in depositions. Your client told people, right? That's one. The other one is they say Katie Joy put out their marriage certificate, and the only way she got the marriage certificate was through discovery in this case. So she already put out something in discovery that was not attorney's eyes only. She already put it out. And we've all said that. So I'm going to show y'all some things. But before we get into that, it says, this is what Katie Joy's attorney says. Katie has posted public records obtained independently from government sources including marriage certificates and addresses from public record databases. Not true, okay? She has posted court documents from other litigation where she was not subject to confidentiality orders. Yeah, okay, that's true, but she did, and I think we all remember this if y'all follow this closely. She put up court records that were not public record that she'd gotten from somebody, another plaintiff way back in the past regarding Robert Shin. Oh yeah, Ginger, I'm sure that they spoke to their attorneys before deactivating their accounts. Look, as we've said, Amber Stavig is smart. She's smart. She's 1,000 steps ahead of Katie Joy's attorney. So basically, and then she says this, and this is where we're going to get into the good stuff. She has commented on deposition demeanor based on her own observations. Okay, keep that in mind. She's saying that the only thing Katie Joy said about their depositions was she commented on their demeanor. I'm sorry, y'all, my dogs are drinking water, and they're loud. That she commented on their demeanor. And then she's saying that she got the marriage license through court records, like in Los Angeles. So Katie Joy posted this post. Now this was after discovery closed in 2024, like the summer of 2024, sometime in 2024, when she got their marriage license. So now she had it because she got it in discovery. And again, she's like, ask me a question. And we all think that Katie Joy goes and asks herself these own questions. Like I think this is Katie Joy asking herself this question. Are Miranda and James legally married? So she could answer it with, yes, their marriage license was filed a few weeks after the Wilkins went live. According to the records we obtained, church leaders Shirley Kim and young Ben Kim were the witnesses of the wedding, and they were married in North Hollywood, probably at Robert's house during dinner. Let me read that again. Yes, their marriage license was filed a few weeks after the Wilkins went live, according to the records we obtained. We obtained. Doesn't say that we obtained through public records. It says that they obtained. And this was right after discovery. Okay. Then, this is what she's saying, that we obtained it and they were, probably married at Robert's house. So at this point, she knows that they were married in North Hollywood. How'd she know that? Because it was disclosed in discovery. Okay. Here she says, I'm just going to play this. Here she says, the discovery Robert Shin provided me in court. Okay. So now she's talking about, oh shit, now I got to go back. Hold on. Okay. The discovery Robert Shin provided me in court. Okay, so she's talking about the discovery. Shows forged taxes, marriage licenses, and business contracts. It proves Miranda Derrick has no control over her life, marriage, and finances. I hope the feds raid his lawsuits. So basically, she's saying that in a discovery, she was informed and she found out that his marriage, she got the marriage license, and then she tried to say it was forged because she says the signatures don't match. Okay. She's admitting right here that she got it in discovery. Now, that, y'all, this is interesting. That post I just showed you along with this one, do you know when these were posted? These were posted on the day of Robert's raid, July 25th of 2025. Okay? This post right here, I have it blocked out. You can see right here, I blocked it out because it doxed some people. But here's Miranda's signature right here. Katie Joy is saying, "Oh, it's forged." But this was on the day of the raid. Because why? Because she thought on the day of the raid that he was going straight to prison. Her ding dong lawyer just sits and lies. Does she, I know, Misty, but it's like, does she lie or does she not know the truth? Because her stupid client's lying to her. Oh yeah, Lulu B. She said so much. But she posted this on the day of the raid, which showed their marriage license. She put this out. Granted, I blocked it. She put out their marriage license for the whole freaking world to see. And she got it in discovery. I don't give a shit what she says. And she wrote up here, based on other legal signatures of Miranda Derrick, we are 90% confident her signature is forged on this marriage license. Miranda and James Derrick's marriage license lists Shirley Kim and young Ben Kim as the witnesses. Okay. She's saying, and then here's another one. It says, here's some evidence we obtained from public records, which solidified our reporting. It's never been released until now. Well, the one that was just on the screen just before that, she posted, and then she went back and she posted this one, like, I forget how many minutes later it was, but it was quite a bit later. And then she put on there, we obtained from public records, because I think she realized, wait a minute, I just put out something I got in discovery. But she didn't give a shit because she thought he was going to prison, because this was the day of the raid. This was the day of the raid. And if you look, and the motion we just reading that they just filed saying that they're in contempt. I mean, that she's hold on. That Katie Joy filed saying, look, Katie Joy has done none of these things. She hasn't done anything with discovery. Okay. And then she starts talking about depositions. But right now we're just looking at what she got in discovery. So that post I just showed you that had, that has that. This is what she, the post underneath that says, shortly after public scrutiny intensified, attorney Shirley Kim filed what appears to be a questionable marriage license in Los Angeles over a year after the date the couple claims they were married. Several red flags stand out. Miranda's signature on the license does not match previous legal signatures. The address listed for the ceremony is Robert Shin's home. Sources told us the quote-unquote wedding occurred in Robert's living room, where he allegedly told them they needed to marry, claiming it was God's will. She doesn't know that. She doesn't know that at all. The license lists no officiant, which raises questions about its legal validity. Okay. Y'all, first of all, she's such an asshole, y'all. She has no proof of this. Some former insiders believe this allowed him to manipulate or exploit women with the group under the guise of spiritual authority while their husbands stayed passive. Miranda has publicly stated she is not a victim. Okay. We've held on to these details for years, waiting for the moment when the truth could finally be shared in context. So you got this in discovery and you waited years because you knew you couldn't show it, but you showed it on the day of the raid because you're so convinced he was going to go to prison. Like, hey, Leanne, it's okay. You're late. Glad you made it. As long as you get here. We're just talking about what Katie Joy's motion for sanctions states in it. They're saying that 7M hasn't complied with discovery. They still owe some things, even though they did they did submit it. Keep in mind, Katie Joy has not provided her financial records or some of her sources, right? So she's just as bad off. But one of the things that they're wanting in this motion is they're wanting the attorney's eyes only stipulation removed off of discovery. And they're saying why. And they're saying she's done nothing wrong. She hasn't shown any discovery because she got that from public record. Well, Snoozy says, you only need a filed license to be married in California. No ceremony officiant is required. And also, from my understanding, California is one of the only, if not the only state that you don't have to, your marriage license does not have to be public record, that you can file it as confidential. And it doesn't have to, so I'm sure they did that, right? Because all this has already started with their whole family. So, she clearly, she's saying, oh, we held on to these details for years, waiting for the moment. Yeah, you're waiting for the moment that you thought he was going to be arrested. So when you showed it, you wouldn't be in contempt. But guess what? You were wrong. He wasn't arrested. And according to 7M, you're in contempt. They filed a motion for that. We're going to see what the judge says. Okay. All right. So that's that post. Now, again, so right before the raid happened, which was on July 25th, on July 22nd. Oh, no, I'm lying. This is in 2024. This is right after their depositions. Okay. Their depositions were held in July of 2024. Okay. So now we're showing how her attorney in this motion is full of shit about talking about their depositions. Just like Joanne Cochran said, if they get the attorney's eyes only removed. Oh, hold on. My chat's moving now, so I gotta. Hey, freckle face. Hold on, I'm gonna come back to you in a second. Justice Joanne Cochran said, I need to get with Joanne Cochran. She and I should go live together one day. I know that she's like way ahead of me in time. If they get the attorney's eyes only removed, well, it gets removed regarding Katie Joy's info too. Yeah, exactly. It goes both ways. I didn't see that Joanne talked about this. I don't follow her very closely. I've never spoken to her, but I think it would be good for her and I to kind of throw things past one another, because I'm sure there's a lot of things that she's caught that I haven't, and there might be things that I know that she hasn't seen. Hey Lisa, hi everyone. Good gracious, KJ is still causing a mess. Oh yeah, it's ongoing. Hey Goose, I haven't been paying attention to chat, so I'm going to pay attention to chat real quick. That's right, Ginger. Okay. Lulu Busby. Freckle Face, it's so good to see you. I haven't talked to you in a while. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you are ready for I hope everybody's ready for the holidays with your grandkids, your kids, family, husbands, wives, all the good stuff, right? Me and Joanne will make a great live together. I think we would do well. She's so laid back that she could probably handle me being a total hot mess. So, okay. So we saw where you're lying. Clearly, how stupid do you think we are? The timing shows it. You posted right after you got discovery in 2024 that, yeah, they are legally married. She had to admit that when it came to summary judgment, because it was a big issue. I think one of the issues she's going to get in trouble about, that the judge is going to be upset with, that I think it's really going to bite her in the ass, is the issue that she lied about their marriage. So she admitted it in her affidavit, or her whatever. She admitted that, yeah, she got that wrong. It was like, so if you admit that you got that wrong because somebody gave her the wrong information, that was her excuse, y'all. So if somebody gave you the wrong information on that and you got that wrong, what else have you gotten wrong? Let's get real here. What else have you gotten wrong, right? She admitted to that. But then, as soon as the raid happens, she backtracks and she says, no, they're not really legally married. This was, well, maybe they're legally married. I don't know, but it's forged. Therefore, they're not legally married. So then she backtracks because, again, it was on the day of the raid and she thought he was going to go to prison. Yes. Ready for a beautiful Christmas. I hope you have a beautiful Christmas. Someone being in jail does not negate a standing court order, right? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm not ready for a cold, snowy Christmas, but we won't have that here. And if we were, I'd be flying to Mexico or something. So this was right after Discovery in 2024, and she says, "We keep winning." Now, this is something that 7M put in as evidence, and she says Robert Shin. Hold on, now I got to go back because I wasn't paying attention. Robert Shin deposed, unable to prove damages, and admitted no defamation occurred. Okay, so that's more than just talking about his demeanor, isn't it? That's more than just talking about his demeanor. Her attorney says, "Oh no, she only talked about their demeanor." I'm about to show y'all. Oh my God, y'all, get ready for this one. As we know, Katie Joy, she lies. She's always full of shit. Does her attorney not pay attention to anything she's posted? It's cold, freckle face. I know we were talking earlier about all the different temperatures in here, like from all the people in chat, like how cold it is. I'm sure that where I'm at is the warmest. Maybe not. But for the most part, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine being a negative degree. I cannot. So, right after the depositions, Katie Joy said this. Robert Shin was deposed today in a court case. In the deposition, Robert swore under the penalty of perjury that calling his church a cult was an opinion and not defamation. So she's saying what he said. So she's talking about what he said in deposition. That he said that calling a church a cult is an opinion. Then she says Robert admitted that many of the statements reported in articles and posts were not the words of the reporter, but those of the people accusing him of his actions. Okay, is that talking about his demeanor, or is that talking about specifically what he said in his deposition? Robert admitted that Miranda Derrick, James Derrick, and Vic White are still members of his church. So you're talking about what he said. Robert admitted he had no clue how he calculated the damages he claims we have suffered, or that to have suffered, basically, that Katie caused him. Robert admitted, that he had no clue how he calculated. Hold on, y'all. I got ahead of myself. Robert could not name a single business deal, sponsorship, or client lost due to Katie Joy's reporting, y'all. Robert admitted that, okay, so here she's talking about what he talked about in deposition. Robert admitted that articles about Miranda were circulating outside a defendant and that had nothing to do with the defendant, yet had the same information. Robert could not prove damages and didn't know who put together the damages financials. Is that talking about their demeanor? Because in this motion that was just filed December 10th, where they're arguing that they need to remove the attorney's eyes only stipulation, right? Because Katie Joy's done nothing wrong, that she did not take anything from Discovery and give it out to the public, aka their marriage license, nor did she talk about what happened in their depositions. The only thing she talked about was their demeanor. This right here proves differently, and there's a lot more. This isn't just it. Y'all, Katie Joy's such a dumbass, y'all. 80. Oh, Lula Bees, you have us beat. What feels like the 4th of July. I wish Todd would set up. She broke their agreement. Look, I know that some people don't have faith that Todd Chrisley might not circle back around on this. Maybe it's just wishful thinking on my part, and this is what I just desperately feel needs to happen. But I think he will. I do. I looked at how much time he had from when their settlement agreement was until he could um, file something against her, there's plenty of time. There's plenty of time. So let's just hope that that's what happens, right? But, I don't know. I mean, maybe he's like, you know what, we're just going to go on with our life. And they should, right? They should. But I've also wondered, and again, this is me just speculating. If they're not trying to somehow find a way to get her criminally instead of just a civil situation. They might be waiting to see what happens in this case too. But let's not forget that she openly admitted that she reported them to the IRS, that she openly admitted that she's reported Robert Shin to the IRS. I'm sure plenty of people in chat can name other people that she's reported to the IRS. But don't you find it funny that she's refusing to provide her tax records in this case? Why? Is she lying on them? Why? Is Robert going to see that she's not filing properly? And then she'll be audited? Yeah, I think Todd, Julie trying to focus on their family and waiting to see what happens here. And, and I just, y'all, I know some people have their issues with Todd Chrisley and et cetera, whatever. But as far as his personality, I just find him so damn funny. And he is a petty, as he calls himself, a petty bitch. I don't see him dropping this. I do not. And I also know something that I can't say I know. So that's why I still have hope. I still have hope. Let me just put it that way. I do know something, and I've known for a while, but it doesn't mean that that's still the case. He might be wanting, look, he's a petty. He might be waiting until she is like kicked while she's on the ground, and he's going to kick her while she's down. And you know what? I won't feel bad for her. She's done all this to herself. Okay, so then she carries on. Robert admitted that there was no defamation by the reporter. Yeah, the reporter being you, Katie Joy. What was she trying to say, the reporter, so people don't know she's talking about herself? You're still talking about what happened in the depositions. I don't think he'll drop it, Ozzy boy. I don't. Yeah, right, Utopia. When you think your life is low, let's just look at Katie's life. What a shit existence, y'all. I feel good again about my life choices. I've made some shitty life choices, but nothing compared to what I think were probably like, oh, that was a bad choice. Not compared to Katie Joy. It is a slam dunk for them, Goose. It is, and they know it. I have it all. If any of y'all have not watched that video I did on that, because they had just gotten pardoned, and I did the video, and I think people thought the video was, they were like trying to figure out what was happening with them, and they didn't realize it was about this dumbass Katie Joy, who he had sued. I got 50,000 views on that video. But I have another one in that I've been meaning to do for a long time. I've got it all laid out in the editor because I think people forget why he sued her exactly, what the lawsuit said, and those people that, some people weren't around then or didn't pay attention to it then. So I can remind everybody, we can go over that lawsuit, and then we can go over what Katie Joy said afterwards, years later, when she thought that he was never going to get out of prison, or at least not in time for him to file against her again. I hope he gets her good too, Ruth Carroll. Yeah, I don't think he'll drop it, Lisa says. I think he'll wait until she least expects it. Yeah. I mean, look what she's doing to Robert Shin here. Okay, keep in mind, she posted this after depositions. This was back in July of 2024. She says, not a good day for Robert Shin. Okay, this was right after he was deposed in their lawsuit. Current litigation, she's talking about his deposition. He also claimed that he never told Kylie Douglas or Aubrey Fisher to destroy evidence. Okay, wait, is this talking about his demeanor? No, this is talking about what he specifically said. How many things have we just read here that she's stating he said that she's talking about in his deposition? Um, basically didn't tell Kylie or Aubrey to destroy evidence, despite both of them signing sworn declarations that his mentors forced them to delete evidence. Robert could not answer why he brought claims in two separate states alleging the same claims against unrelated parties. That's talking a little bit more than just about demeanor. Sorry, it is. But it gets worse, y'all. So keep in mind that these are the things that she said after deposition. Okay. This was back in July of 2024, right after we knew the depositions happened. Okay. Recently, she made a post saying that she thought that Miranda and James were being coached in their depositions, that they weren't making the decisions on their own. Okay. So I guess her attorney feels that I guess her attorney feels like all she talked about was their demeanor. She's going to piss off the wrong cult someday. The thing that gets me about her, she's like, I dismantle cults, blah, blah, blah. The only ones she's ever talked about are on national television, right? The Duggars. Oh yeah, she did a great job with that, didn't she? Sister Wives. Their whole lives were to be seen to the world. And she's like, yeah, I helped dismantle this cult. And then she screwed around with the wrong one, Robert Shin, and look what's happening. She spent admittedly, her own words, has spent over $200,000 in this case. She's an idiot. All right. After 2.5, and again, this was just after depositions. After 2.5 years of litigation, Without a Crystal Ball has been granted a hearing on November 25th, 2024 for a motion for a summary judgment against Robert Shin, Miranda Derrick, and James Derrick. We all know how that went. After 2.5 years, none of the plaintiffs have provided any evidence of damages or lost wages connected to our reporting. Okay. That's a little bit more than talking about their demeanor. Right? And we also know what happened in the motion for summary judgment. Now it's under review. Again, the judge basically said this is going to trial, right? I'm not granting a summary judgment. She granted in part for Katie Joy, but we've already talked about that, and it's nonsense. Like, the judge agreed with everything 7M had to say clearly, or saying that a jury needs to decide, rather. And that was going to trial, and then Katie Joy was granted the opportunity to file a motion to reconsider. And that's in review right now. And she's doing all this dumb shit. Say that he couldn't prove any evidence of damages or lost wages connected to our reporting. Who's we, Katie Joy? Who's our? It's you and yourself in your basement and your puke-colored walls, whatever. Deposition testimony of Robert, Miranda, and James proved that I have not defamed them in any way. None of the parties testified that calling a church a cult is defamation. Okay, so now you're talking about what they talked about in their deposition. Robert Shin testified that calling a church a cult is a sin. Robert Shin could not state any logical reason how my reporting damaged his businesses. So again, she's talking about what he was questioned during his deposition, what Miranda and James, what they said, not like, oh yeah, they looked scared or they looked like they were coached. Could not say any logical reason why my reporting damaged his businesses, nor provide any financial records to prove damages. Despite a court order, Robert Shin never provided his tax returns. Either have you, Katie. Either have you. And Katie Joy, this was July of 2024. Still to this day, Katie has not provided her tax returns. Miranda and James Derrick lied under the penalty of perjury and claimed they were not members of Shekinah Church. A little bit more than just talking about their demeanor. Given all of the evidence we have collected, we will be submitting a full memorandum. Hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. She will be submitting a full memorandum to have the case disposed and dismissed once and for all. Didn't happen. Did not happen. Thank you to my legal team for their amazing work. Y'all, she really thinks she has a good legal team. Thank you for all of you supporting me through this difficult and expensive process. Can't wait till she has to sell her BMW or cancel the lease. I think she bought the BMW, and my understanding is she got assistance on that because she says that she had to have it equipped for her son. So do I think she paid full price for it? No, that's just an opinion. The cat and the dog part of the team. They don't even want anything to do with their Do They Unitopia. Once more, she's talking church instead of 7M. Exactly. She's saying they lied. She's talking about what they said. Her voice is in her head. Yeah. Yeah, right. Ruth, Jinx, Ruth Carol, we both just said the animals don't like her either. Animals can sense evil. Y'all, I mean, this motion was just filed, and literally her attorney said, Katie Joy has done nothing of the sort. That 7M is lying and saying that Katie Joy has, that putting out, that she'll put out information released in discovery, and that no, she never did talk about their depositions. All she did was talk about their demeanor. Total lies. Total lies. And under this, and this is still, y'all, this is still on her website. This is, I'm not her website. This is still on her Instagram. And there's a post under this too, and we're going to read that. Here it is. It just amazes me, y'all, that her attorney is willing to actually say that Katie's done nothing wrong. On November 25th, 2024, without a crystal ball, we'll be presenting our summary judgment to the court. Okay, again, we know how that went, right? To date, none of the parties have provided any evidence of damages. The testimony provided by the plaintiffs was disastrous. Okay. I think that is what the only line that her attorney knows that Katie Joy said. I watched firsthand as Miranda and James Derrick gave testimony. It was tragic and incredibly disturbing watching them fumble and lie for Robert Shin. I think that's what her attorney thinks was the only thing that she thinks was said. They all claimed they watched the docuseries Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult. Both Miranda and James testified. I got to go back to this. Testified they were aware of the allegations against Robert Shin. Okay, so now you're talking about what they testified to. Miranda testified that the allegations against Robert Shin could be the reason that she lost brand deals and lost business opportunities. So you're talking about what they testified to in deposition. This has to be probably why Katie Joy's attorney wants it to be public record, because then her talking about depositions wouldn't be an issue. But she did. And they were confidential. Thank you to, and then she's talking about the people related with Netflix series, right? The producer and such, the director or producer, for believing in me and not being scared away to help the victims tell their stories. Y'all. Does she think that this isn't going to come back and bite her in the ass? When I first heard of her during the Toddy stuff, I thought she was representing herself because I thought an attorney would. Right. Right. And then this is just the rest of the, I didn't put the whole motion in here. I think it was 15 pages. But this is just kind of, and they're saying they want to reopen discovery, that they feel that they deserve the right to reopen discovery because they want to depose, reopen discovery and depositions for 60 days because they want depositions, the depositions of Shirley Kim and Hannah Shin, because they say that they're part owners or whatever. They have, I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think the judge is going to agree to that, but I don't know. I can't say. I mean, her attorney, I'm sitting here reading Goose's comment. The attorney stated, well, we asked about monetization records in depositions, and they had no idea what any of that meant. So therefore, because they don't know about monetization, that obviously means that Robert Shin is in control of their accounts. Even though Miranda, James, and Robert all testified that they're in control of their own accounts. And then when they filed the motion for a temporary injunction saying, look, they are damaging everything about the plaintiffs. Like, they're hurting the plaintiffs so bad that they had to delete their social media presence. And there was one of the lines that Katie Joy's attorney said at one point was so awful. It was basically accusing Miranda and James for being present on social media, that it was their fault that they got backlash, that people didn't like them because they didn't like them, not because Katie Joy did anything. Oh, Misty Mo, you're going to Walmart? Have fun with that. Just before Christmas. I hope it's not too bad. Shirley and Hannah are KJ's Clark Swanson. She's gonna throw everybody, I mean, it's just, it blows my mind. Now they're saying, these are missing witnesses, that they should have been able to depose them. But Amber Stavik says, you requested to depose them. I told you that I could not make them come because they're not my clients. And that's where you left it. You didn't subpoena, you didn't send them nothing. You didn't subpoena them nothing. You didn't do anything to make them come sit for a deposition. So how's it my fault now? You want to reopen discovery and depositions because you made a mistake? And she called her out big time in their motion. Yeah, it's hard to not despise them. I know, it's like I don't even know her, and you just see how much damage she causes people. And then she acts like it's because they're all horrible people. No, Katie, you're the horrible person. Desperate delaying tactics. It's just crazy that, number one, this motion that her attorney presented here is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Right? And so in conclusion, she says, plaintiffs have systematically violated court orders, destroyed evidence, concealed responsive accounts, and obstructed discovery for years while simultaneously seeking to silence defendants' constitutionally protected journalism. You can, oh my gosh. The contradictions between their sworn statements in Minnesota In California, the spoliation of social media evidence central to this defamation case and the 22-month failure to produce court-ordered financial records warrant the sanctions requested. Defendants respectfully request that the court grant the relief set forth above. Y'all, I can't even believe that this is what they're saying. But the contradictions between their Minnesota and California. That's not true. That is not true at all. That is just not true. Hey, Brutally Brit. I used to mod for Katie. Whoa, way back in the day. She's beyond crazy, crazy. Is she really? Oh my gosh. Back when she first had Matt Byron, her channel. Oh, it's when you, okay, that was, yeah. Oh, I bet that was lots of fun. Oh, yeah, that's a good question, Goose. Brutally, did you leave because you figured her out, or is it because she took away your wrench because you didn't agree with her on something she said? That's a good question. But she said they're still trying to say that Robert Shin is denying to this court that he's under federal investigation. They also said, and I skipped it on here. I didn't stop and read it, but they said that they're lying to the courts because Robert Shin, through Amber Stavig, said that her clients, none of her clients, none of the plaintiffs have been charged with any crimes. Okay? They haven't. Nobody's been charged with any crimes. He's under a federal investigation. He was raided. He hasn't been arrested. He has not been indicted. Nobody has been, there's not been any charges put against any of them. Am I wrong on this? Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. He's being investigated. We don't even know. You disagreed with her once and she took my wrench. Oh, we're so surprised. We're so shocked, aren't we? How long did you get to mod for her? How long did that wonderful task of being a mod of Katie Joy's did that last for you? She's a narcissistic sociopath. She likes to diagnose everybody else as such. Why can't we do it, right? Then you started doing videos on her and she attacked you. Do you still have any of those videos up? Do you still do them? Thanks for all these updates. You modded for 6 months. Goose says KJ keeps trying to bring in his California suit. Yeah, she does. She keeps banking on that. That has nothing to do with Minnesota. You're right. And she wants to talk about contradictions. Well, Amber should play Without a Crystal Ball versus Without a Crystal Ball video. Leanne Newton, you corrected her once and she doxed you. She's an absolute delight, isn't she? Y'all, she's terrible. I think the raid could have as much to do with ICE policies as anything else, which has nothing to do with this case. Do I think that there could... Okay, I will say this. This is what I will say. I will say that Katie Joy keeps saying that he was raided because of trafficking, that he is running I have to be careful what I say on YouTube, SEX trafficking ring. She said that there are a bunch of invisible people, y'all, that, oh, your channel's gone. Bummer. I got distracted. What was I saying? I was talking about the raid, wasn't I? He told her to stop playing with her hair. Oh, yeah. I mean, can you imagine what her block list is? You're in the Blocked by KJ club because I dared ask questions, right? Okay, so I was saying, it just came back to me. That she said, that she's basically saying that this is what he's he was rated for, right? That he was rated for um, running a ring. And she said there's invisible people. So, I guess she's trying to say that he's immigrated or he's brought people over from South Korea and he's trafficking them. I don't know. Um, oh, Unirock. I wish that Renelle Smith was in the chat because she would remember all this. I'm sure she was around back then. I know Goose probably was too. A lot of the people in chat probably were. I didn't start making videos her until this lawsuit happened. So in the spring of 22. So you did the same thing as without a crystal ball versus without a crystal ball, just play back her words. Yeah, I mean that's the same thing I've done too. Yeah, I mean it's all anybody has to do about her, isn't it? Just play back her words. Like when I made that video regarding Todd Chrisley with everything that she said recently, it is unreal. Yeah, right. The raid, ICE. Because I think that she was saying that that's what one aspect of it is, but she also says that he's trafficking Miranda, right? So I think you're right. I think that ICE, that's a very good point. That's probably a lot of it. And my point being was that Amber Stabig has made it very clear on a couple of filings here that Katie Joy is the reason for the raid. And she wouldn't be saying that if she didn't have evidence of what these search warrants really were, right? Like, what was he raided for? I wouldn't be surprised if there's some white collar stuff on there. I wouldn't be surprised, right? Doesn't mean he's guilty of it, but he was raided. 7M's attorney, Amber Stabig, is very adamant that she's very adamant that it's because of Katie Joy. She wouldn't be saying that if she did not know details of the raid, right? She wouldn't be saying that. She would not be saying that. I don't think. And she keeps trying to bring up the whole case in Los Angeles, right? That he requested a stay on that case and it was granted. So that case is on hold. And honestly, if they were, let's just say that this judge says, okay, we're going to reopen this and allow depositions for 60 more days. Let's just say that happens. I'm sure Robert Shin is going to exercise his Fifth Amendment right over and over and over again. Who was that guy? The Kristen Smart case. Paul Fuentes. What was his name? The guy that he was deposed, and every single question he said, at the advice of my attorney, I'm going to exercise my Fifth Amendment right, or whatever. To every single question, when they asked him his name, they asked him. I think they even asked him if he was a male or a female, and he still exercised his Fifth Amendment right. He did not answer one question, nor did his father. I think maybe his father was better, but that was a Elizabeth Smart case in California. And so I could see Robert Shin doing the same thing. Like if he gets deposed in this, like no, he's got this federal investigation going on in California. Why would he answer any questions? That's why the case is one of the reasons why he requested a stay in California. I don't think he wants to request a stay in this because it keeps costing Katie Joy money. Think about how much this has cost her recently, just these motions they filed. So much money. She said recently she was over $200,000. Can you imagine what she's at now? I mean, she's still over $200,000, but it was probably on the low end there. Well, oh, I'm sorry, Lula. What is it that you want to show? You made a music video about Katie. Yeah, I don't have my the only way that I really get you if you're on Instagram, you can direct message me on Instagram or through X. It does not surprise me that Katie pushed everything to her own demise. The raid, going on Banfield, she thought she had him cornered. Exactly, short order cook. She thought, and that's what I was showing earlier when I was showing when she put out their marriage license, when she put that out publicly on her channel, it was the day of the raid. She got so bold that she was going to put out a piece of a piece of information she got in Discovery. She got that in Discovery. She's trying to say now that she got it through public records. She could not find it. She said it over and over. She couldn't find it through public records. How did she all of a sudden find it right after Discovery and post that, yeah, they are legally married? And then the day of their raid actually put out the actual marriage license. Really? I mean, she thought he was going to prison. She still thinks he's going to prison. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. She thinks he is going to prison. And it did. It backfired. The lack of self-awareness that Katie has is like something I've never seen before. She has zero self-awareness. Zero. Think about it, y'all. She stays in her room. Did y'all see that when I put up that I don't think I still have it on here. That post that she made, I think I took it down. She made a post on her birthday and it said that nobody, no friends sent her a happy birthday wish. And she's like, "Is that because I have no friends?" Yeah, it's because you have no friends. She said, "Because this job keeps me so isolated." Number one, you don't work for anybody. You work for yourself. You don't have to be isolated. I think Katie's 100% responsible for the raid because all day, every day, she kept posting the LAPD. Oh, yes. I've done videos on that too. Yeah. Where she put out all their information. She did a video on that. She went live from Instagram saying that. She did posts. You're right. 100% posting the LAPD information and the DA's information, the local sheriff's department, and she encouraged people to call the FBI and the IRS. Yep, she did. She told them to call and report over and over. And the judge in this case has seen that. That was presented as evidence that the judge has seen that. I mean, she has no self-awareness because she's lost it. She sits in her house. She does not leave her house. Self-admittedly, she does not leave her house. The last time she actually admitted she left the house, you know where she said she went? The liquor store. She admitted to going to the liquor store. That's it. And I think a couple of years back, she said that she was at Target with her son. That was it. She does not leave the house. It's unreal. So, I mean, whenever she was doing, I don't know if you're still in here, Britt, she doesn't really go live on YouTube anymore. I wonder if she has any mods still. I think the only ones she has is, oh, what is his name? What is her name? I can't think of it, but I think she has two. Maybe only one that still stands by her. And then when she went over to Twitter, some of them I think one of them modded for her over there, but she found some new mods, and remember she threw them all under the bus. And everyone kept trying to warn them, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. And they were like, oh, whatever. Katie Joy is wonderful. She's a journalist. She's a renowned journalist. She knows everything. And then they came back and they were like, yeah, she's a horrible person. Katie Joy's total piece of shit. But as you can see, I don't know if it's her attorney doesn't pay attention, right? or if her attorney is that she's just lying, that she's, I mean, her attorney in this motion is absolutely stating false information. Katie Joy absolutely has done the things that 7M is arguing she has, that they've put in their own motion seeking sanctions. But they're seeking sanctions and saying that she's in contempt because she is refusing to provide her records, her tax records, personal and private. I'm going to see if I put this on here. I didn't. Darn it. I have, I was going to end it with that. Because she also still needs to provide some sources. And her liquor store delivers. Oh, I believe that short order cook that KJ is coaching her attorney. I reckon she writes most of her own stuff and gets her attorneys to sign it. I think so. I think these last motions, though, her attorney is kind of taking over. I don't know. Of course, I say this and it's like, this is not true. These statements are not true. I just proved how false they are and that 7M is absolutely correct. But Katie Joy is saying that she doesn't have to provide sources. She is still going on Reddit under comments in a subreddit for whatever it is, the Blake Lively crap, saying that she's deemed a journalist and she doesn't have to provide sources. And she does. It's such a lie. Hey, Jill. Oh, it's okay. I was about to wind up, but we were just talking about the motion that Katie Joy filed and how some of the things that her attorney said in there are not factual. And I showed the stuff to kind of prove that. Right? I mean, I do. I mean, it's like, I feel like her attorney could be risking her license for this in some ways. Amber Stavig is not the one. She is a good attorney. She's a bulldog. She is smart. She knows the law. Katie Joy's attorney in this motion said that 7M filed their contempt. They're saying they were going to file a motion for contempt. I mean, to seek sanctions, but that they couldn't because they passed a deadline for that within an order that stated that there was a deadline for filing non-dispositive motions. And she's wrong about that. I went and I read the laws. I read the rules on that in Minnesota. And Katie Joy, 7M's attorney is not going to be filing something that's just going to be tossed. So that's about it for today. I know nobody in my chat is interested in the whole feisty situation, but at the beginning I showed kind of what happened with that. I don't think that'll go anywhere. I know nobody cares, but I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong that she thinks that she has cases and she's just taken up to court's times. But when you look, and that's what Katie was saying about this case, and it's very clear that this is not a waste of the court's time. Now, in the very beginning, do I think she had a running chance? I do, because defamation is so hard to prove, right? But then she goes and she does it tenfold. So I think it's very bad for her. And we should see some more filings before December 31st, I'm guessing, and I'll go live with that. It should just be a response to these motions, right, that were filed. And we can kind of see, if that happens, I'll come live and we'll show the response. But the next hearing is December 31st at 9 a.m. And that is, to go over these motions. And let's keep in mind, Katie Joy's motion to reconsider summary judgment is under review right now. And so is 7M's motion for a temporary injunction, trying to get Katie, tell Katie she can't post stuff, that until this litigation is complete, she can't post about any of the plaintiffs. Yes, I know, Brittany, when she posts stuff saying that she's a victim of Robert, I have some other posts that she just did. I had them up. I thought I had put them up onto where I could post them on here, but I didn't. And saying she is scared for her safety. And I did videos on that too, where she is literally calling him Roberto. She's saying she's not afraid. Like somebody asked her, "Aren't you afraid of these people?" She's like, "No, I'm not afraid." Like I did a whole video on that too. Same thing, just like you said, using her own words against her. She's not a victim. You're right. Hey, Crystal, been listening from the bushes. Have a great holiday. Thanks for covering all this. I've missed you. I have missed all of you guys too. It's been weird coming live and trying to get back on track with some of this stuff. The time for the next hearing is 9 a.m. But all of the hearings in this case are to be in person only. So none of it can be heard by us, unfortunately. But it is a 9 a.m. hearing, which to me, I'm wondering if the judge didn't carve out a huge part of a huge amount of time to cover this. I don't know. But after this hearing is done, I think it's going to be a while before we really hear anything back, but I don't think any of it's going to be in Katie Joy's favor. Again, just my opinion, just my thoughts. I could be wrong. Like I said before, O.J. Simpson was found not guilty. Casey Anthony was found not guilty, right? So stranger things can happen. I don't see that happening here. Again, I keep saying this again. She basically called the judge a dumbass. Said the judge was wrong on her ruling and all this stuff. And 7M submitted that as evidences too. So the judge knows that she's talking shit about her and the court. She's totally misrepresenting this judge in the court. But anyways, you guys, I might not be back on here. So if not, if the only time I'm going to come back on here is if something is filed. So everybody have wonderful holidays. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. I might not, again, I know I won't be coming here live on New Year's Eve, which is when they have the hearing in that morning. So if nothing's filed before the 31st, I will not be back live until after the new year. So keep an eye out. I know people are saying they're not getting any of my notifications. They don't even know that I'm live. So, and it's weird. Like they're saying that they're being unsubbed from me and they're having to sub again. Oh, so you're here to be the grammar police again, huh? I don't think you realize what happened. I'm not saying that I didn't make a mistake by any means, okay? Barbara Jean, okay? Number one, that's nothing that I've even. Oh God, I can't with you. I just can't. I just don't. I don't understand why people have to come in here and critique people, and you're going to say, that you're sorry for that. Every single time you've had an opportunity, and to tell me I'm wrong, you've done it. Okay, and why don't you make a fucking video? Why don't you take all the time out of your day, put all your skills to use, spend hours upon hours listening to stuff and reading stuff? Why don't you do that? Huh? Go ahead and do that. And happy Hanukkah to all. You're right, Brianna. So if you want to keep correcting me, go ahead. I don't give a shit. I'm going to keep saying it wrong just to piss you off. How about that? Look, I put a lot of time into this. I understand. Look, here's the thing. She keeps coming into all my comments to tell me I'm wrong. And I'm just not correcting myself because I don't give a shit. How about that? I just don't care. I really don't. Because to me, it's a lot of effort and time to put in this. And if instead of saying, hey, thanks for what you're doing. Hey, you know what? This is a lot of work. No, you're going to come in here and tell me I'm wrong. I should have blocked your ass by now, but I don't do that. I don't block people just because you're a dumbass. Just because you're smarter than me. You are smarter than me, Barbara. I admit it. I'm fine. You're smarter than me. Love to all gingerly except this bitch in my chat. I'm sorry if you're my supporter and you've been around and you've supported me and you thought I was a nice person. I am. But you know, Jesus. But I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. Like I said, I won't be back on here to spoil, right? All the information that is going out there. So when something's filed, I'll be back. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay warm. I know some people are in some very cold climates. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, all the good stuff. And thank you, Gingerly. Oh, wait, you love this side of me? Y'all, people just piss me off. It's just so stupid, right? Like, come on. And I will call you out for it because it's just stupid. And I am going to block your ass before I start giving out free memberships because whenever I start doing memberships, I don't need your butthole self getting a free membership. I'm just kidding. I don't block people. I know when someone lets you know they don't like it, don't do it. It's just funny. It's just wild. You're welcome, short order cook. Do I get it? Mr. Black Wolf, how are you doing, my friend? You came out of the bushes when I turned into a bitch. I'm all nice and sweet. If you get me to say that, if you get thank you, Jill. If you get me to cuss on here, you know, and it's not like I'm mad. I'm not. It's just ridiculous to me that people are just so ridiculous. But again, everybody have a I'm gonna go out. I've got a mound of presents to wrap. It is insane. And like someone said earlier, just throw them in gift bags. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. But they're all up in the attic. And if you knew how hard it is to get into my attic, I'd rather wrap them. But all right, you guys have a great day. It's 4 o'clock. I think Charlotte. Oh, I went past 4 o'clock. I think Charlotte's live. I don't know. I didn't get noticed while I was on here. I went past what I wanted to. So I will see you wonderful people later. It might be after the new year. I will only come back on here if something else is filed. Goodbye, y'all. Have a great day.